Good day, fellas. I hope you are ready for your daily dose of skill. And today we have a pleasure watching Reaper here playing with a TIE 5 Heavy. And hear me out, fellas. TIE 5 Heavy history of the tank is quite an interesting one. Whenever TIE 5 Heavy came into the game, it was a meatball of a tank, right? That is kind of badly armored against the tier 10s, but good armored against the lower tiers. And it had a humongous high explosive gun whenever you were shooting under the tank and doing 700 damage. So community perceived the tank like a toxic one, and I think that the tank was a toxic one at the time. So Wargaming came up with a solution to nerf the tank. I'm talking about the back in 2021 or 2022, something that nature. And then in the end or last quarter of the 2025, the mega patch came into the World of Tanks 2.0. The patch that is saving the game, right? Or I supposed to say giving more opportunities in the game, which we definitely have. But with that patch, the Type 5 Heavy definitely felt quite a bit stronger than it was before. And now, half year passed or 5 months passed, and we are in the situation that Type 5 Heavy isn't changed, so either Wargaming do not see the problem with the Type 5 Heavy, or this is a new standard, who knows, right? So we have an OP meatball with crazy armor, although I need to give a credit, it has definitely a V cupola and you can penetrate this tank, right? Where the gun goes, 700 alpha damage with standard, 700 alpha damage with a gold, and obviously there is no benefits for you to shoot the standard ammunition. If you can afford the gold, you are shooting gold. And I believe the Reaper here is going to showcase something nice for us. What the Type 5 Heavy meatball can do in 2026, or maybe it's maybe I'm saying that wrong. Prior meatball or ex meatball. Does it make sense what I'm saying? I hope it does. Anyways, good start. The team is dying as usual. 2,200 damage done. I have a feeling that he blind shooted that light tank in the start, but I don't really think it matters at the time. What matters is what enemies are going to do against the Type 5 Heavy. And I chose this game for specific reasons. Obviously, I saw that the guy has made quite a bit of the damage. There is going to be interesting situations and whatnot, and now I see that he is beating the living crap out of everyone who is coming towards him, which just simply makes sense. I believe the drawback, now jokes aside, I believe the drawback of this tank, or Wargaming thinks that the drawback of this tank is 290 gold golden AP. At least that's what I would guess, but I don't really think that it is I don't really think it is bad, considering that the tank is quite tall, you know? But hey, that's only me. Anyways, 1 versus 4 situation in this side, if I'm not mistaken. There is a bazaar around the corner. There is E100. There is Type 5 Heavy. Yeah, quite intense situation. In most of the cases, I would want to believe that. In most of the cases, I want to believe any tier 10 tank would be challenged here, but not Type 5 Heavy. Type 5 Heavy is okay. It can play in the open field. You do not need to use a mega strategy or something if you are blocking your cupola. And if you will, you are wiggling a bit, you can do plenty of the crazy stuff against the enemies. I can tell you that much. Anyways, the champion E100 is shooting high explosives. It's always good to meet someone that is good in the game and knows how to penetrate the Type 5 heavy, right? And obviously, jokes aside, the Reaper is winning lottery over there because E100 is not the sharpest tool in the shed. And let's be very, very honest over there. Oh, that is a lucky high roll. Beautiful play. He decided to make a pressure, and now rest is history. At least that's what I want to believe. He should be able to slap the living crap out of this E100. At least that's what I want to believe. And after that, Baza 75. He better use those boosters to run away, because otherwise it's not going to be fun for him. And yep, the fear in his eyes is showing that he's considering about escaping from here. Too bad that Reaper missed a quite close range shot because he did not aim, but that's okay. And the reaction of the Reaper is the best. All he does, he says, wake up for his team. At least that's what I think. Okay, not bad. Not bad whatsoever. 1 versus 3 situation 1, that's great. Everything is completely alright. Now, Baza, let's get real. Baza has no chance against the Type 5 heavy in this situation. There is no bloody way he is going to be able to do anything, right? And can you imagine, fellas, that once in a while this beast is seeing overall lower tiers as well? I'm talking about the tier 8 defender and whatnot. We need to bless the sweet matchmaking. I can tell you that much. Anyways, 8.5 thousand damage dealt. 5.8 thousand blocked damage as well, and there is still plenty of meat on the bone, right? And I think he has a blind shot for 1,000 if I'm not mistaken, but we are going to figure this out later on. Obviously, Fava is an easy target, at least in my opinion. I don't think that he will have too easy of the time to penetrate him. Definitely not. Beautiful play by the Reaper though. He is covering his weak spot. He is realizing whenever enemies are doing something stupid and something silly, and in the end of the day he is becoming victorious. Although I think that where the Type 5 heavy gameplay goes, it's one of the easier tanks to play with. At least I would not say, oh my bananas, it is such a hard tank to make it work. No, not at all. I truly don't think so. I bet he will try to ram this Fava, now just pure baiting, hit my wheelie or hit my stronger armor bit. This is exactly how it happened. And by the way, if you haven't had a chance to play with a Type 5 heavy at this point in time, I would highly recommend to give it a go. If you are the player who remembers this vehicle being absolutely disgusting, keep this in mind that the tank is pretty sweet at this point in time. I can promise you that, fellas. It is a very, very, very sweet tank. You can complete the bouncing missions. You can even ram some other trackers left, right, and center. And you can have a very, very beautiful score with this tank. And all the memory that you had from the Type 5 Heavy being absolutely pile of kaku, it is gone. Erase it from your head. I can tell you that much. And just like this, our hero of the day, Reaper, is showcasing how to play with a Type 5 Heavy properly, how to use the different types of ammunition, how to penetrate the Tessak in the start of the game, how to penetrate the Badger, because this guy knows that he can penetrate his butt. And yeah, I think Wargaming is quite slow with the Type 5 Heavy, with all honesty. I think it is way too powerful considering how easy this tank it is to play with. You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, 13.7 damage. He won versus 3 situation, and it could have been so much worse than that, right? And he finished it with a casual 1.9 base experience, obviously top by the damage, top by the experience, and he even made profits as well playing this game. Although I think he had some other boosters activated, because we can clearly see that it would be a different story if it would be 150,000 minus whatever 200,000. Either way, I have a question to ask, fellas, and I'm very, very curious what you have to say. Do you think that Type 5 Heavy is fine in the current game and in the current meta? Or do you think that the Type 5 Heavy is too strong and a bit of the chop where the nuts goes could do wonders? Because from my side, I think that this tank is too strong. But once again, that's only me. I'm curious what you have to say. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I wish you a great weekend. Thank you very much for all of your support, and see you very, very soon. Skill is out for today. Peace.